When I was living in Shanghai, I got a lot of inspiration from just things around me because I was put in an unfamiliar environment. Things like people hanging laundry off a bamboo pole, and I've never seen things like that. Little things like that made me want to turn something ordinary, something everyday and mundane, into something a little bit different, to challenge the viewers to see their surroundings a little bit differently. I got into art, I think, the second year of being in my architecture firm. So while I worked on all these architecture projects and I was in front of the computer all the time, I really wanted to work on tangible projects. I wanted to build smaller scale projects. So I was doing all these projects on the side while I was keeping a full-time 9-to-5 day job at my architecture firm, and there was no plans of switching to an art career. I think in my mind I always thought, it's not practical, it's not sustainable, I can't do this. But at the same time, I noticed that I started to get requests from clients, from brands all over the world whenever I released a video, and I had no idea how to quote them. Drinking coffee, I love that. And I noticed rings formed on the bottom whenever I dripped a little bit on the side. And it was a bit of a nuisance to me at first, but then I thought, if I turn, my mind around and think about it differently, can it be presented in an interesting way instead of something that really bothered me? The chopsticks idea came about when Jackie Chan commissioned an artwork and he wanted a portrait of himself, and I was in Beijing at that moment, and we talked about one of his movies. It's Drunken Master, and there's a scene where he fights with chopsticks. So that's where it came about, and I started experimenting with it bit by bit and built it into a bigger image of him. The teabag piece was commissioned for Malaysian Night at the World Economic Forum. So that was a huge honor, and I really wanted to make something that spoke about the Malaysian culture, and I thought a teh tarik man would be interesting. I got about 20,000 tea bags and dyed them in different shades of the tea color that I was using and turned it into a teh tarik person.